Good morning, everyone. 6:48. Yes, it's dark out. You can't see anything. Monday, 12:15 and 55 degrees. All right, Revelation 14 today. And before I get started, I just wanted to address a message I had gotten last night using, or, have I ever tried using commentary from others and other translations. So if I don't understand something, I will usually go to other commentaries and things like that. But normally I rely on what God shows me and not other people's interpretations, because I don't think they're always correct, even though most people follow what these people say. So it doesn't mean that they're wrong. It's just that that's not the understanding God has given me at the time. And plus, if I did that on video, the video would be way too long, and I already have to speed it up 1.5 to 2 times. That's how slow I speak. So, like, for example, yesterday's video was like an hour long, but I sped it up and to like 1.8 to 2, depending on the section, and it made me sound more normal. And most people, if you speed them up to 2, they sound like little chipmunks, but I speak slowly. So anyway, the video would be way too long. So the purpose of doing this is to read the Lord's words, and for all of us to learn and do away with the world's interpretations and listen to what he is telling us. And sometimes he does that through the experiences he gives us in life, and or revelation right there on the spot. So he does use other people. That I'm not saying that he doesn't. I'm just saying that a lot of times when I hear their opinions, their translations of what something says, I don't agree with it. And if I don't agree with it, then I have to figure out why. Either I'm right or I really just don't understand. But I let the Lord lead me in these things. So, but yes, I do use different translations and the study and commentary for things that I really don't understand, and then I pray on it. But like I said, too long here. Okay, so we're going to start with Revelation 14. I think that's going to be the only chapter today. Then I looked and saw the Lamb standing on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, who had his name and his father's name written on their foreheads. And I heard a sound from heaven, like the roar of many waters and the loud rumbling of thunder. And the sound I heard was like harpists strumming their harps. And they sang a new song before the throne and before the 4 living creatures and the elders. And no one could learn the song except the 144,000 who had been redeemed from the earth. These are the ones who have not been defiled with women, for they are virgins. They follow the Lamb wherever he goes. So I'm going to stop right there. To me, yes, it can mean a purity of, the body physically. But I also believe that it means, because it used the word with women. And so if you go throughout the scriptures, what does women represent? Not to say that us individually, but how does God use that word in a spiritual sense? So women they become whores, harlots. They're the same to me. I think there's a little difference other than being daughters of. So they're doing what they see their mother do. But so to me, I think it's kind of talking about being defiled with the churches because they have been corrupted. And they are always following the Lamb's voice. So they're always following the voice of our Savior, Jesus Christ. And they don't listen to what the world is saying and dictating. That's my take on that. So wherever he leads them, that's where they go. They have been redeemed from among men as first fruits to God and to the Lamb. And no lie was found in their mouths. They are blameless. And we're all sinners. But the difference is that we knew we were, and the Lord saved us. And we follow him. Verse 6, Then I saw another angel flying overhead with the eternal gospel to proclaim to those who dwell on the earth, to every nation and tribe and tongue and people. So the gospel is going out everywhere. And I don't think there's one nation that hasn't heard the gospel. Just there are quite a few that reject it. A lot of Asian countries reject it. I mean, there are churches, but they're heavily persecuted, plus infiltrated. And he said in a loud voice, Fear God and give him glory, because the hour of his judgment has come. Fear God and give him glory, because the hour of his judgment has come. Worship the one who made the heavens and the earth and the sea and the springs of waters. So when he comes to judge, his full wrath will be upon mankind at that time. There will be no mercy, because you had this whole time with his love, his kindness, his mercy, and him wanting only the best for you and giving you what you've asked for, whether you're an unbeliever or not. He's giving you what you've asked for. But the wickedness is just too far. It's gone too far. It's spread too far across the land. And there's more of that than there is righteousness. Then a second angel followed, saying, Fallen, fallen is Babylon the Great, who has made all the nations drink the wine of the passion of her immorality. What is Babylon represented as? The whore, right? As an unbeliever, okay, so someone who doesn't believe in God, our Father, can they be a whore? Well, if they were never his, then they're not whoring on him. Someone who says they're a believer and they follow him, if their actions or their thoughts are somewhere else, worshiping other things of this world, then they're the whores, right? In the Bible, who were the whores in our scriptures? The Hebrews. So God chose Abraham. He was the only one who was questioning at the time, after the flood. I mean, Noah, when Abraham was born, he was still alive, but he was living in the cave, and I think the older sons were still there, but their population had grown and they had spread, and they had already been corrupted again, wars and winning power over others, and Abraham was the only one questioning all that was going on, and so God chose him out of everyone, after Noah, that is, and Abraham wasn't a Hebrew, but he became the first Hebrew, and so his children and their children, they became the Hebrews that we understand. And Jacob comes along, and Jacob, his name is changed to Israel. Then they're called Israelites. You start to see that word Hebrew disappear from the scriptures that we have in English, that is. And then it disappears. It kind of disappears into, the word Jews. And they were the ones who God had chosen. And what did they do? You can read it throughout the Old Testament. They whored on him. And yet they wanted to say, Lord, Lord. And he said, I don't know you. Because they didn't follow him. They didn't follow his word. They didn't worship him. They were worshiping pagan idols and with their mouth. And they were saying that they were doing this in the Lord's name. And he was just sick of it. And so when I have read so many histories, and I know that the Lord led me there, this wickedness, okay, we have to always look at those that use his name. So it's going to sound like I'm picking on them, and I am, because they're the ones we're supposed to be looking towards, at least on this earth, as an example. And they haven't changed. They've gone through, where did it say? It says, who has made all the nations drink the wine of the passion of her immorality. His chosen people at the time were doing everything that the pagan world was doing. And every time they step into another nation, they corrupt it, they've been thrown out, then another nation took them in because, they were saying, poor me, and no, we didn't do this, but they did do it. And all the way up until the 19th century, which is, to me, modern history. Let's go back to Russia, 1917. They had been a Christian nation, and no, not everybody is perfect. Most leaders are never perfect and make bad decisions, but the country was considered a Christian nation. Who came in 1917? Who came in? The Bolsheviks. The Bolsheviks were, who were they? Okay, so without saying who they were, because you should know who they are, they corrupted the nation. They introduced communism, which is just terrible because the egos, the power, the greed that comes along with that, it will never change, no matter what. I mean, like in the purest sense, communism could be a good thing, but it should always be a choice, because God gave free will to all of us. And when it's forced on you, that's not free will. And usually it's because someone else sees power in that and greed. And during that time, it was horrendous for those people. And the Christians that were imprisoned, the torture that they went through, and these were all people that were doing this, all in the name of the Lord, all in the name of the Lord. And every nation owes Babylon. Even the United States. I know a lot of people say that we're Babylon, and we have fallen. This country has fallen. We were given a lot. We were a test. I mean, if you think about it, we were given a lot, more than any other country has ever been given. And it was a test to see if we could keep it and keep God in the center. And we didn't. We couldn't. The whore crept in. Did you hear that? The whore crept in, like it did to other nations, with this pretend morality. And they were being immoral the whole time. You might not have seen it, but it is, and it's everywhere. And I mean, you guys, I'm sorry, I don't see it the way most people that I even give the time of day to listen to. I see that the United States is a child and looking up to its mother, the whore. Every nation that I'm aware of gives their allegiance and chases after the whore. And that particular whore that I'm talking about has its hands in everything. It's number one in pride, in, you know, the gay and lesbian scene. The abortion rate is pretty high, not as high as Russia, and that's what communism did. It introduced that. So the people who introduced communism, the Bolsheviks, right? They introduced that. They, God's chosen, introduced that to them. And so their abortion rate is high. They're number one in the world. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Number one in the world. And it's such a small population. But they've introduced all of these things throughout the world. So a lot of things. Banking, Hollywood. I mean, and you already heard my rant from yesterday, you know, about how immoral those people have to be to create movies and shows like that. Very corrupt people. Very, very, to me, demonic. And as Jesus called them out, he called them vipers, right? And they were children of their father, the devil. They're the same. And every church on this continent and all the other continents, they give their allegiance to. So who's the whore and who are the daughters? Because we will read that. It's not in this chapter, but I don't think. There's the whore and the harlots. The harlots are the churches that follow after. Now, if you guys think differently, I would really love to hear it. And there won't be any hate from me. That's just my understanding. And it's just something I don't agree with. Because also in a chapter further along, it says Mystery Babylon. Well, no one that I ever hear, they always say the United States is Babylon. But it has to be a mystery to most people. And to most people, they think it's us. And I say that I don't think that's true. But we have fallen, and we are going to be judged greatly. Because we still call this country the country of our God that we follow, and most people have fallen away from him. So, all right, see, I'm already 24 minutes into it, and I haven't even really said much. All right. And the third angel followed them, calling out in a loud voice, "If anyone worships the beast and its image, and receives its mark on his forehead or on his hand," see, Satan is trying to mimic God, because even in the Old Testament, he said he was going to put a seal in the forehead or the hand. It's a mimic. He's just trying to do what God has always done. And he lies very well. He deceives so many people, so many. Okay, so if anyone worships the beast and its image and receives its mark on his forehead or on his hand, he too will drink the wine of God's anger, poured undiluted into the cup of his wrath. No more mercy, no more. And he will be tormented in the fire and sulfur in the presence of the holy angels and of the Lamb. Oh, I wouldn't want that. And I don't even wish that on my worst enemy. Whoever that is, I couldn't even think that, but that is why I just want everyone to wake up and see what is going on and get right with our Creator, God, who created every one of us in his image, and not the image that they are trying to create. You guys know that a lot of these vaccines now have mRNA. If you read what it is, it does change your DNA. And that is how the beast is going to sit in the temple, because we are the temple of God. We are the temple of God. And the smoke of their torment rises forever and ever. Day and night there's no rest for those who worship the beast and its image, or for anyone who receives the mark of its name. And we're all going into this digital world. A lot of you guys are already into it. The Japanese love, tech. They just love it. They can't get enough of it. And they're always using their mobile devices to pay for things. And I mean, when we came back from over there, I really saw it a lot more. I think I had probably only seen like one person use their phone to pay for something before we left, and that was in 2018, the beginning of 2018. And so I thought it was strange then too. But when we got over there, now they still use a lot of money too, but there were so many people that we saw just pulling out their phone, and like it was no big deal. And then when we got back here, I saw it a lot more too. And I just thought, oh my gosh, we're there. We're already there. And I may not be like a really great oral speaker like some people, but I saw the writing on the wall. And because the Lord gave me those eyes to see with. And so he's going to sit in your temple. And you're allowing it because you're going along. Nobody's fighting back against this. And the ones who are trying, they're not going to do anything. The word is the word. It's going to play out because God already saw it. He saw those who are trying to stay out of this world and not become a part of it. But there's just not that many, which is why he's going to have to come back when he comes back. Here is a call. Next verse. Here's a call for the perseverance of the saints. I wasn't even reading along, so I didn't see that. So God is so good. Who keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. So what does perseverance mean? We're going to have to keep going on. We're going to have to endure whatever comes upon us and still stay faithful. And in a world like this, it's really hard to do. But if you know what the outcome's going to be, then you just endure. And it's hard because we are just, we're human. We're wearing this flesh, which is very weak. It's very weak. And I heard a voice from heaven telling me to write, "Blessed are the dead, those who die in the Lord, from this moment on. Yes," says the Spirit. "They will rest from their labors, for their deeds will follow them." I had read this before, but I didn't really understand it. I'm old, guys. I'm old. And if I'm wrong, or, if I didn't understand something, I'm just going to tell you. There's no shame in saying this, I did not really get it or understand that until my mother passed away last year. I got it. It was like, the light bulb that went off, and it really, I was like, oh, wow. So she really is at rest now and just waiting, for the Lord to come back. I was just like, it was no longer just reading something. The Spirit was right there and showing you something. I've had plenty of people pass away in my life, and never was I thinking about those sort of things. God is amazing. He really is amazing. And I looked and saw a white cloud, and seated on the cloud was one like the Son of Man, with a golden crown on his head and a sharp sickle in his hand. Then another angel came out of the temple, crying out in a loud voice to the one seated on the cloud, "Swing your sickle and reap, because the time has come to harvest. For the crop of the earth is ripe." So the one seated on the cloud swung his sickle over the earth, and the earth was harvested. So let's just, we have verses throughout, especially in the New Testament, about the harvesting. See, we have the grain harvest, which of course is gathering the righteous. There's the grape harvest, which is the judgment of the wicked. And let's just click on one so we can read some verses. This is from Matthew 13:30. I think a lot of you guys are more familiar with King James. So, "Let both grow together until the harvest, and in the time of harvest I will say to the reapers, which are the angels, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them." So the tares will be gathered first, they're going to be burned, "but gather the wheat into my barn," which are the righteous. Let's see. I've been reading from the Berean lately, so it says, "Let both grow together until the harvest. At that time I will tell the harvesters, first collect the weeds and tie them in bundles to be burned, then gather the wheat into my barn." And let's see, what other? The grape harvest is in Joel 3:13. I'm going to read from the Berean. The King James to me is just all the ye's and things like that get to me. "Swing the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, trample the grapes, for the winepress is full, the wine vats overflow, because their wickedness is great." Okay. So 14, "And I looked and saw a white cloud," which I already read. 17, "Then another angel came out of the temple in heaven, and he too had a sharp sickle. Still another angel with authority over the fire came from the altar and called out in a loud voice to the angel with the sharp sickle, 'Swing your sharp sickle and gather the clusters of grapes,'" which I was just talking about, "'from the vine of the earth, because its grapes are ripe. The wickedness is ripe." People want to react constantly to what they are being bombarded with. They would rather react to something someone is telling them than what they are actually experiencing in real life. They can go out their doors and see nothing going on, but as long as they're listening to something else, social media, whatever, and they are bombarded with images and words, they want to react to it and cause chaos. They are causing chaos because of, they're reacting to the chaos that is being created for their consumption. And so then, therefore, the real chaos among the nations within your own community start. It may not have been there, but because, You guys remember the toilet paper fiasco, right? 2020? Our news agencies started to say the toilet paper was flying off the shelf and we were having a problem. And there was no problem until they said that. And then everybody said, oh, we're having a problem? We better run to the store and get some toilet paper. And then they started buying it all up. It was caused. We didn't have a problem until they caused the problem. You guys are monkeys. So the angel swung his sickle over the earth and gathered the grapes of the earth, and he threw them into the great winepress of God's wrath. And the winepress was trodden outside the city, and the blood that flowed from it rose as high as the bridles of the horses for a distance of 1,600 stadia. So that is 184 miles or 296 kilometers, wherever you guys are at. 184 miles is a long way. I mean, just think about it. If you're going 60 miles per hour, okay, not speeding, you're just going 60 miles per hour, kind of put that into your head, how far that is. And then you go another 60. That's 120, right? So that would be 2 hours. And then another 60 is 180, and this is 184 miles, so 3 hours. Think about where that would put you. Like from your home, going 60 miles per hour, where would 3 hours be for you? That's a lot of space. And it says the winepress was trodden outside the city, and the blood that flowed from it rose as high as the bridles of the horses for a distance of 186 miles. Wow. All right, well, thank you for your comments. The 2 that I've gotten on one video, which is very strange because it's like everybody must be looking up wormwood. So I guess they click on every video or something that says wormwood in the title. And it wasn't really, I mean, yes, that chapter was talking about wormwood, but the reason it was funny that I even put that in there was because right before I started reading, I had gotten a message. It was early in the morning, but I had gotten a message because someone was wanting to do a cleanse and asked me to do some research on 3 particular herbs. So one was cloves, wormwood, and what was the other one? Oh, black walnut. And so that's kind of why I put that on there, because I did look up just a little bit, and I was telling him about that. I don't know if I shared that in the video. I might have read it out loud, but I'm not sure. And yes, wormwood, it's mentioned like 8 or 9 times in the Bible, and nothing is ever good that is said about wormwood. I do think it's used a lot in sorcery, which makes sense because they will use it in some medicines and some, I guess, New Age crap, but it can be poisonous, and it is bitter, which is what the scriptures say. So, yeah. All right, I'm done, and we will do 15 tomorrow, and I hope you all have a quiet, peaceful day. I know a lot of you guys are going to work, and my work will be working on the Bible, and whatever the Lord else has me doing. I'm going to do it for whatever reason. It might not look the same for you, but that's what I'm going to do. All right, have a blessed day. I love you all. Keep praying. I love you. Bye.